Here we go.
Invincible. Hello and welcome to round 10 of the Spec F1 Esports PS4 Classic Car Series at the Japanese Grand Prix. My name is Expert and I'll be your commentator for today's race. As I said, we are here at the Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. I do apologize, I don't have any notes on me for anything because I've been rushing a bit to get the stream started. We've had a few issues. I do apologize as well if you guys are here from the F2 stream. Unfortunately, YouTube's been bugging out this morning, so I've had to do this stream the old way. So if it does lag at all, I apologize for that, and hopefully it does resolve eventually. But as you can see on your screens now, we have the drivers' standings. Plebs leads away at the moment on 112 points as he stands. This is, I should point out as well, the results from the Belgian Grand Prix. I don't think they have changed though in the top 3 anyway, so Useless as a Cat will be in P2 at the moment for Ferrari, leading Sideshow Prod in the Braun P3. He might be the only one that unfortunately may drop a few positions due to him not being at the last round at the Singapore Grand Prix. Alpum in P5, leading CRZ Footy, one of our reserve drivers, Scarsouls, LAS Purple, Jumperline and LAS Chucky, Corte Coos, Hyper Toasters, Tommy N25, Dougie Falcons, Pete Crichton, LAS F1 Skid, and running at the top 17 will be Sergeant Cardi. Then it will be Dr. Dre 3000, Aaron L3F4, Cracker Jack, MJ Coleman, LAS F1 Loic at Floggle Woggles, and Banana Cake Pie will run at top 24. Then it will be the reserve driver of the Rock F1. But here are your here are your constructor standings. McLaren still lead the way on pretty big margin. Well, not a big margin, I should say. They are around 40 points different between the McLaren and the Braun team. So McLaren are on 284, leading Braun on 249. Then it'll be Red Bull on 139, and then Ferrari in 4th on 116. We're going to go over to the main screen now, as I can hear the drivers are heading out for their qualifying session, their 18-minute qualifying session around the Japanese Grand Prix. Sorry, I do apologize again in advance if the stream does tend to lag a little bit. But anyway, as you can see, majority of drivers are heading out now for their qualifying session. Everyone will be on the dry tyres, but it does look like it's a little bit overcast, to be honest, so we could potentially see some rain at the end of the session maybe, or even coming into the race. So a lot of the drivers are on their out lap at the moment. I'm going to wait to see who's the first driver that will start their lap. DK's now coming out of the pits as well for McLaren. Have a 19 drivers here for this afternoon's Grand Prix. Very good turnout as well. Hopefully it brings some nice racing with that. Sideshow Prod as well. Unfortunately, after missing the previous round at the Singapore Grand Prix, he's definitely going to be wanting to get a nice result here this afternoon. But it looks like Alpum's one of the first drivers out on the track, or one of the first drivers I should say, to start a lap. He's heading through the S section now of the Japanese Grand Prix circuit. Got through there pretty nicely, heading into the very fast right-hander. Very easy to carry, a lot more speed than what you think. Same with this corner as well, under the Fanatec portal, under the back straight, I should say. Into the hairpin they go. You want to make sure you're braking in a straight line so that you don't lock the brakes and run too wide. I think Alpine was trying to run a little bit wide there because that was his intended line, but I think he ran a little bit too wide in my opinion. But he's heading into this double left-hander now. I'm trying to pull up a track map so I can see what the corner names are. I always get them wrong. Hey, I know this corner though. He's heading into 130R now. Flat out in all cars pretty much. Might not be in the really old cars, but he heads under the Pirelli banner now. That's pretty much where you want to brake in these classic 2010 era of cars, but he heads through the final corner now. He's going to keep it narrow, most likely to minimize the track distance. No, he doesn't, but he's going to come across the line as he is now the first driver to set a lap. He sets a 1 minute 30.702. Floggle Woggles is now the second driver to set a lap on a 32.6. Then it will be Alex who sorts himself into P2 with a 32.5. 1/10 of a second pretty much between those two of Floggle Woggles and Alex. Dr. Dre now. 4 Red Bulls going up into P2. Corteku's in P3 as well. Sideshow Prod now as well for the Brawn team goes into P2. Currently it is a Brawn 1-2 and then it is a Red Bull currently sitting in 3rd. That driver being Dr. Dre. I've got the track names up now. So the corner names up now. But currently, as it stands with 30 minutes to go, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure everything's working with the stream because it's been a little bit rushed, unfortunately, trying to get everything working because YouTube's been a bit painful this morning. Unfortunately, it didn't let me stream the F2 Sprint Series, so that unfortunately was not streamed, and that was a bit painful because there was actually some good racing in that. But Alpoom still sits on pole position at the moment. Looks like he's on another lap. He runs actually a little bit wide through 130R, so he's definitely going to be coming into the pits this lap by the looks of it. Sideshow Prod at the moment, his teammate currently sitting in P2, Brawn 1-2 at this stage, and it'll be the Red Bull of Dr. Dre. There's in a little bit of traffic at the moment. I'm not too sure if he was on a lap or not. But the Very Lazy Town now, one of the drivers that I do believe this is his first race. He is sitting in P4 at the moment for McLaren, leading BK, his teammate, who just caught that corner there, heading into the Degner curve. LAS Purple in P6 at the moment for Red Bull. He just finishes first lap by the looks of it. Flogger Woggles in P7. P8 will be Corteku's for Red Bull, who is now coming in the pits. But Sideshow Prod now goes to pole position with a 1 minute 30.291 for the Brawn team. So he's looking pretty competitive so far. In this morning's Grand Prix session, could this be the race that Sideshow finally wins? He's been really quick in all the races pretty much that he is with the Classic Series, but unfortunately he's had a little bit of bad luck when it comes to turn 1 incidents. But hopefully that resolves, or he doesn't get that same bad luck for this afternoon's Grand Prix. You go back to the order, as you can see, Corteku's was in P9, then Renier top 10 so far is LAS F1 Skid 00735. Then it will be his teammate LAS Iclo, I think that's how you say it. He's sitting in P12, then it'll be Alex in P13, then Renier your top 14. Well, the last of the drivers that have set a lap here for this afternoon's qualifying session is Blocky Rex 9779. We're still waiting on Gassy 10, Road Flash, Chucky, who is on a lap at the moment, Catboy Kai, and NBC Alcatraz to set a lap at this stage. Chucky is on a lap. He's heading through. He's double left-hander now. Onto the back straight he goes. Spoon curve. That's what it's called. He's heading into 130R now. Into the final complex of corners goes LAS Chucky. Opens the arrows nice and wide now, comes across the line. Unfortunately, that was only good enough for P14 at the stage. Currently the second driver at the bottom of the list that has set a time. So he's probably going to have to go again, is Chucky, if he wants to get up there, as there's now 10 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the session. But currently, as it still stands, Sideshow is at the top of the leaderboard, 4/10 of a second now between him and Plevs in the McLaren. Then it'll be Alpim in P3. So currently, Plevs splits the 2 Brawns at the moment. In P2, Dr. Dre in P4 for Red Bull, leading the Very Lazy Tail for McLaren. BK in P6. P7 is still LAS Purple, and Big Donga now has moved up into P8 for the McLaren team. P9 is still Flogger Woggles, who's just gone into the pit, or into his pit bay. Corteku's is on his outlap at the moment. He's going to be going again on a fresh set of dry tyres. So conditions don't look very good at the moment, to be honest. Be interesting. It would be nice to know what the conditions are for the race, but as you can see, Ghastly, Rogue, Catboy, and NBC Alcatraz are all on an outlap at the moment. NBC Alcatraz nearly put himself in a half spin there, heading through the S curves. It is on his outlap as well. Sideshow Prod at the moment still is coming out of the pits, as I should say. So is Plebs. Actually, no, he's still in his pit bay. Alpim is on a lap at the moment. He's going to be wanting to improve. I'm not too sure if he's up on his time. He's 1/10 of a second up on his time at the moment. So that's not enough to get him into that top 2 at this stage. But he's still got 2 sectors of a racetrack to try and gain a little bit of time up on those front 2 drivers. or the McLaren and the Brawn in front of him. Top three are pretty split at the moment between, well, the top three are a little bit faster at the moment than the rest of the field. Dr. Dre is currently sitting MP4 for Red Bull. He's around 5/10 of a second between, 6/10 I should say, between him and Alpum. But Alpum is now heading into 130R. Flat out left-hander. One of the fastest corners around this racetrack. Gets through there nicely, heading into the final section of corners. He goes now. I'm not too sure what his sector split was, if he was up on his time, but he's going to be a surprise for us. He's coming around the final corner now. Will he be able to improve on his time? No DRS available, but he does actually get a pole position now with a 1 minute 30.170 for the Brawn. So now that makes it a Brawn 1-2 again. Dropping that McLaren driver back down to P3 now for Plebs, and Sideshow back down to P2. But Sideshow is about to start a lap now, so is Plebs. He's on his out lap as well. He's heading through the hairpin through sector 2. He goes. Dr. Dre is just put on a fresh set of tyres, so he is starting his lap now. He's looking pretty competitive as well this weekend. He's heading through the S-curves now. Looks like he's run through there pretty nicely. Ran a little bit wide through that left kink though, and through that right-hander as well. So this looks like he's going to be down potentially on his time so far. If I was him, I'd probably back out of this lap and just go again. We'll save the tyres potentially. Oh, so I accidentally clicked that there, but he's 6/10 of a second down on his time at the moment. So at that stage, I would probably just back off and save the tyres to do another lap. These tyres don't wear out too quickly, I should say. With these classic car compounded tyres, obviously there's only one compound of dry and wet tyres for these drivers to use. Dr. Dre now heading through the spoon curve. Runs it out wide nicely. He won't be improving on his lap time, I don't believe, because he was 6/10 of a second down on his time. He's going to cross the sector line right about now. He's 1.2 seconds down now, so definitely not going to improve, but he's actually got balked at the end of the straight. He did back out of that. He's got Big Dongo and a driver in front of him. Will he come into the pits this lap? He is coming into the pits, so he did end up backing out of that lap. Gassy 10 now. For Ferrari has gone into P4 with a 1 minute 30.643. So currently we now have 6 drivers into that 1 minute 30 mark. Going to set this to leader. As you can see, there's 4/10 of a second, just under 5/10 of a second between our top 5 at the stage of Alpum, Sideshow, Plebs, Gassy 10 and Dr. Dre. 6/10 of a second between Corte Cruz and the leader. NBC Alcatraz now has got himself up into P7. You see what time he did. He set a 1 minute 31.108. So he's going to have to try and find around a little bit over a 10th if he wants to get into that 1 minute 30 mark. Very lazy towel, still sitting in P9 at the moment. He looks like he may have just made a little mistake at the exit of the Degner curve. He's trying to get out of the way of some drivers. That is LAS Chucky. He just got out of the way of now, but Plebs goes pole position now. The first of the drivers to get into the 1 minute 29s. He sets a 1 minute 29.933. 2/10 of a second quicker at the moment than Alpum in P2. So Plebs, that's a pretty competitive lap time there from the McLaren driver. Alpum still sitting in P2. He is now exiting the pit lane. Sideshow Prod is actually on a lap at the moment. He's actually down on his time. He's 1/10 of a second down. So he's going to have a little bit of time he's got to try and find if he wants to move himself up any positions. He's just got to find a little bit over a 10th of a second if he wants to get himself onto that front row of the grid. There's 5 minutes remaining in the session. But that's a pretty quick lap time there from Plebs. Sideshow still a 10th down on his lap time, so he probably will go again. He's heading through the final corner now. We've got a lot of oversteer. He's coming into the pits. He'll put on a new set of tyres for his final run. It was LAS Eclo. He just got himself into P10 there for Red Bull. Nice up there from the Red Bull driver. We're going to go through a grid real quick as there's 4 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in this qualifying session for the Japanese Grand Prix. Currently Plebs sits on pole position at the moment for McLaren, leading Alpum in P2 for Brawn. Then it'll be his teammate Sideshow Prod, who just entered the pit lane, who will be coming out very shortly to do his final run. LAS Purple MP4 for Red Bull, leading Gassy 10 for Ferrari MP5. P6 will be Dr. Dre 3000 for Red Bull. In P6 then will be Corte Cruz, his teammate, in 7th, leading Rogue Flash for Brawn in 8th. 9th will be NBC Alcatraz and rounding out your top 10 will be LAS Equo. P11 will be the Very Lazy Tail. P12 will be BKXI. 13th will be Alex 96NZ, Big Donga MP14. 15th will be LAS F1 Skid. P16 will be Flogger Woggles Eating Catboy Kyan. 17th, 18th LAS Chucky. And rounding out top 19 at the moment will be Blocky Rex 9779. So he's got a little bit of time. He's got to try and make up. He is currently the only driver in the 1 minute 33s. Is Blocky Rex. He ran really wide there on the exit of the Degby curve. Alpoom is now off into the S curves now for his final run, most likely. If he stuffs up this lap though, he will most likely have enough time to get around to do another lap. So his sector 1 split will come up very shortly. We'll see if he is up or improved or has improved on his time. 2/10 of a second up on his time at the moment, so he's neck to neck at the moment between him and Plebs. Is Alpoom. He's really close with Plebs' time, I should say. Is Plebs going to be coming out? He would say he would be to do another run. Majority of drivers will get around 3 to 4 runs in this qualifying session. Normally you can do 1, maybe even 2 laps on these dry compounder tyres as they don't really wear as well. He ran a little bit wide through the second part of the spoon curve there, did Alpoom. We're going to get a reading in a sec on how much he's up on his time as he's about to cross his sector 3 split right about now. He's 0.396 up on his time now, so he's just under 4/10 of a second. So at this stage, I do believe he will go to pole position. Will Alpoom. He's coming through the final corners now. Through the penultimate corner, now into the final corner. Short shifts into 4 to minimise the wheel spin, but he's going to go to pole position here. Will Alpoom. He's set to 1 minute 29.899. 4/100ths of a second between Plebs and Alpoom at the moment, so very tight. As it stands, Plebs is still yet to come out for his final run. May not even have any tyres left potentially, but Sideshow is on his outlap at the moment. So is LAS Purple and Gasly 10. It's currently now our top 8 have got into that 1 minute 30 mark. NBC Alcatraz being the last of those drivers who is on a lap at the moment. We're going to ride on board with him as he just exited the hairpin. He's going to have a driver in front of him. I do believe that might actually be Gasly 10 in front of him. Hopefully he does get out of the way and doesn't impede his lap. But he's heading through the S curves now. That's actually Blocky Rex. So Blocky needs to get out of the way here. Blocky is actually on a lap as well, but he's just backed out of it. He's heading down the back straight now. He will get a jump into sector 3 now. Is he up on his time? He's 0.3 of a second up, so this should move him up into, most likely, he will stay in his position at this stage, but he will manage to get into that 1 minute 30 mark. I think he's going to stay in P9, but he will improve on his time, but he's going to come across the line now. Will NBC Alcatraz? And he does stay in his position, but he does improve on his time though with the 1 minute 30.857. 5/100ths of a second between him and Bro Flash. I'm going to ride on board with Sideshow. He's heading through sector 2 now. Fortunately, we didn't get a reading on his time there. Alpoom now goes faster with the 1 minute 20.7. He improves on his time again, does the Brawn driver. Now he is retired from the session, he won't go any faster because he will not get another lap in by the looks of it. But he's 0.2 of a second now between him and Plebs. So Plebs is going to have a little bit of work to do. Same with Sideshow. Probably just ran a little bit wide on the exit of the spoon curve. We'll get a reading now to see if Sideshow is up on his time. He's going to come across the sector split right about now. He's actually backed out of his time now. Has Sideshow, so I don't think he had improved on his time. So that's unfortunate for Sideshow. He's going to have to settle for potentially P3 or worse. There's a little bit of a gap between him and Purple though. Purple is on a lap at the moment. He's heading through the final sector. Will Sideshow pull into the pits? He's actually going to complete his lap, but Purple now actually pulls into the pits now. So he wasn't up on his time either, so the track looks like it's a little bit slower at this stage. But now as you can see, Purple has crossed, come into the pits, so he will not be able to improve on his time, nor will Sideshow. Plebs is on a lap as well. He's heading through the S curves now. Gasly 10, is he on a lap as well? He's heading through the middle sector. Dr. Dre, looked like he's backed out of his lap. He's got a McLaren in front of him as well. There's also that Ferrari of Gasly 10. Managed to get out of the way though. Corte Cruz is on a lap as well. Unfortunately, Alex and LAS Chucky have finished their qualifying sessions. They're going to have to settle for P11 and P12 or potentially worse. LAS Skid down in P16 at the moment and Blocky Rex down in P19. So waiting for the majority of the drivers to finish their laps now. Dr. Dre has retired from the session. as well. This is BK now. He's heading down the back straight. He's about to cross the sector line. Is he up on his time? He's 0.3 of a second up on his time at the moment. So he may just squeeze into P9 by the looks of it. It will be tight if he can improve on his time through this final section of corners, which he is now heading through. Will he be able to improve? He's going to come across the line now. No DRS available to him. He does. He actually moves up into P8 now. Does BK for McLaren. Solid result for him. But where's Plebs now? He's unfortunately made a mistake there. Heading through the final sector. So unfortunately Plebs is not going to be able to improve on his time. So it looks like Alpin will take pole position at the Japanese Grand Prix. Corte Cruz will most likely be the only other driver that can take it, as he looks like he's the only driver we're waiting on at this stage. He's heading through the final sector now. I'm not too sure if he's up on his time, but he's going to come across the line now. Will the Red Bull driver be able to improve on his time? He comes across the line now. Does he improve? He does. He goes to P9 at this stage. Well, he stays in P9, I should say, but that is your qualifying session done for the Japanese Grand Prix for the Raceback F1 Esports 2010 Classic Series. Alpin takes pole position, leading Plebs in P2, so that is your front row lockout. On your second row will be Sideshow Prod and NBC Alcatraz, actually, who moved himself up into P4. Unfortunately, I didn't actually see that, but a really good job there from Alcatraz in that Braun car, moving himself onto that second row of the grid. Then it will be LAS F1 Purple, I do believe, that will come home in P5. So there could potentially be some rain for this Grand Prix as well. It'd be nice to know if there was. As I read out, Purple will come home P5 for Red Bull. The first of the Red Bulls here for this afternoon's qualifying session. Gasly 10 in P6. One of the two Ferraris here this afternoon, doing a solid result for them. Coming home P6. P7 will be Dr. Dre for Red Bull, running ahead of BK, Corte, and Rogue Flash will round out your top 10 for Braun. Then it'll be LAS Chucky. There's actually 1 second between our top 10 at the moment. So that's actually not too bad, to be honest, but with the time differences, LAS Chucky in P11 at the moment for Red Bull, leading his teammate Alex. Then it will be the other teammate of Eclo in P13. 14th will be the Very Lazy Tao. Then it will be Big Donga in P15. 16th will be Skid. 17th, I couldn't actually see. Unfortunately, I didn't read through that quick enough. But that was your Raceback F1 Esports 2010 Classic Series qualifying session. We're going to head over now to the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. As you can see on the screens now, the drivers are heading out for their formation lap for the Raceback F1 Esports 2010 Classic Series at the Japanese Grand Prix around the Suzuka circuit. Let me know in the live chat as well your top 3 predictions for the Grand Prix as well. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. I do apologise if it is lagging a little bit as well. But anyway, you see Alpin's already running off on the formation lap. He's already struggling to keep it on the track. He was very aggressively leaving there. Once he brought on drive, as you can see. I do believe Alpin is one of our controller drivers as well. Actually, no, he looks like he's on a wheel this time. I thought he was a controller driver, but anyway. We're going to go through your order now just to give you a little reminder on how the qualifying session went for the Japanese Grand Prix. Alpin took home pole position, 2/10, or I think it was 2/10 of a second faster than the McLaren behind him of Plevs in P2. P3 will be Sideshow Prod, looking to make a statement this afternoon, trying and get his first win of the season. Banana Cake Pie with our first prediction so far. He reckons Alpin, Plevs, and NBC Alcatraz. Not putting a lot of faith in the Sideshow by the looks of it. Oh, well, he did say Sideshow DNF, so his prediction is Sideshow to DNF by the looks of it. Not putting a lot of faith in the Braun driver, but anyway. NBC Alcatraz in P4 at the moment. He nearly runs into his teammate there of Sideshow Prod, but LAS Purple in P5 leading Gassy 10 in P6, Dr. Dre P7. PA will be BKXI for McLaren P9 for Red Bull will be Corte Cruz, and running out top 10 will be Rogue Flash for the Brawn team. LAS Chucky in P11, who's unfortunately been a naughty boy. He's had to sit on the grid with Alex, his teammate, in P11 and 12. P13, who's struggling to keep it on the track already. It looks like blue skies as well, I should point out as well. So it doesn't look like any rain will be coming for this Grand Prix. Eclo will be in P13, running out the top 14 will be the Very Lazy Tail, who was also a naughty boy. He had to sit on the grid for the formation lap. P15 will be Big Donga, then it will be Skid, Flogger Woggles, Catboy Kai, and Blocky Rex. Letting the final drivers now head onto the grid, waiting for the light sequence to begin. Green flags have been waved. And you see the light sequence is beginning now for the Japanese Grand Prix. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And they are underway. It looks like Pleb's got a nice start there off the line. But so did the Ferrari of Gasly 10. He's got a very nice run into turn 1. He's going to try and slip down into P3 now. Here's the Gasly 10. Looks like the two Brawns are going to go around the outside there. Alpine trying to hang it around the outside of Plebs, and Sideshow trying to hang it around the outside of the Ferrari. But it looks like Sideshow there's maybe had a little bit of an incident. No, he's actually just slotted back in there. I thought I saw him spin around. It must have been another Brawn. But now, as you can see, Alpine leads away at this stage. He's got a pretty, he's got 5/10 of a second between him and Plebs. Cassie 10 is now slotted into P3. Definitely had the best start there, but now Sideshow's feeling a lot of the pressure at the moment from NBC Alcatraz behind him and the Red Bull of LAS Purple. Sideshow not getting a very nice start there off the line. NBC Alcatraz in P5 leading Purple in P6. Who's actually going side by side, I do believe, with BK. No, he's not. He's actually just slotted into P5, I think. Alcatraz actually has made a little mistake there on the exit of the Degner curves. He's got a nice run though on BK. Will he try and slip down the inside, heading to the spoon curves? It looks like he's going to defend the inside line. That was BK, but he's going to try and go around the outside as Alcatraz, but he's done a Verstappen and Vettel line, heading through the spoon curves there. Didn't make any contact though. So now it's unfortunate for Alcatraz. He's dropped a few positions off the start. 3 to be exact. Dr. Dre in P8 at the moment. 4 Red Bull leading Alex. Big Donga, Chucky, Froggle Woggles. Chucky's actually looks like he's got a nice run on Big Donga. Will Big Donga, who he's actually run a little bit wide. Will he dive down the inside heading into the final corner? He was really aggressive. He probably could have done that, but now Alex has been forced into a hard spin. I think he made a little contact there with his teammate of Dr. Dre. But Alpine now leads away as it stands. Heading on to lap 2 of this Grand Prix. Plebs is now still right there. He's got 6/100ths of a second, that gap was. Now out to 1/10 of a second as he got a little bit of dirty air effect heading through turn 1 and 2. They're heading through the S curves. The drivers go. Gasly 10 now for Ferrari. He's doing a very nice job at the moment. He's slotted himself into P3 at the moment. Sideshow Prod still holding on to P4. He's extended his gap between him and LAS Purple. P5 will be BKXI. Then Alcatraz is going to be wanting to make up a few more positions after that poor start from the Brawn driver. We're going to go back down here to Corte as well, because it looks like he's... Actually, I think I hit a little good share. It says that he's 1/10 of a second between him and Rogue Flash, but this is a little tight battle here. That was actually very Lazy Tao there that got a lot of oversteer, I should say, on the exit of the hairpin. Sorry, I'm trigger spamming a little bit here. But very Lazy Tao heads to the spoon curve now, runs a little bit wide on the exit of the first turn and runs it wide again through the second part. That's actually a Brawn driver there that's actually spun around. I think that's Floggle Woggles that's unfortunately spun around at the exit of the spoon curve for the Brawn team. Unfortunate there for him. I'm not too sure where he was sitting prior to his spin, but LAS F1, Eclo now, MP, where's he sitting at the moment? He's sitting in P12. He just got himself a 3-second time penalty. The Sideshow now is catching up to Gasly 10 as he did just set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Heading on to lap 3, the drivers go. He's yellow flag in sector 3. It might have been Dr. Dre. No, it's not Dr. Dre. But BK and Alcatraz are going to go side by side on the exit of the second part of turn 2, or the end part of turn 2. Alcatraz, by the looks of it, is still struggling to get past BK. He tried to make a move on the first lap, but unfortunately, BK had the inside line heading to the spin curve. Now they head into the Degner curves. BK did cut that corner a little bit there, but obviously Alcatraz cut it a little bit more because he just got a 3-second time penalty there. Full corner cutting multiple times. He runs very deep into the corner there, did Alcatraz. Nearly rear-ended that McLaren driver. But he's got a nice run off the exit of the hairpin. Will he be able to make a move? Heading into the spoon curve. He's going to go to the outside. BK's going to try and defend the position, but he's going to go down the inside now. Here's NBC Alcatraz. He's going to try and make the move work. Do they make contact? They do give each other very nice, respective room now. BK looks like they do actually make contact there. I don't think BK lost any front wing, but they did make wheel to front wing contact. But will BK, you have a nice toe down the straight. He's going to head into 138. He's going to go down the inside. They're going to go side by side to the fastest corner around this racetrack. He gets forced out wide. That is Alcatraz, but will he be deeper on the brakes? He's going to try and do it. He's going to go very deep on the brakes. There is Alcatraz. Do they make contact? BK has the inside line for the final part of that corner. And it looks like Alcatraz is going to be forced back down to P7 for the Grand Prix. He will have a nice run though. Heading into turn 1, BK. That's a very nice, very late move there. Heading through turn 1, but he does get forced out wide there. Does Alcatraz? They give each other room though. And BK's going to hold on to P6 through the S-curves most likely. But anyway, Alpine still leads away at the moment, leading Plebs in P2. Currently a Braun, McLaren, and now Ferrari's actually got ahead of Sideshow. Actually no, Sideshow Prod. It did drop that position, I forgot Gasly. Had got himself up into P3, but Sideshow's trying to catch up to that Ferrari driver. He was catching for a little bit in there around that lap 2 and 3 stage, but it looks like he's actually lost a little bit of time. At the beginning of lap 4, LAS Purple still keeping with Sideshow Pod at the moment very slightly. BK now still battling it out with NBC Alcatraz in P7. P8 will be Dr. Dre still leading Big Donga in P9, and Chucky for Red Bull still running at your top 10, who will take home 1 point at this stage. That's actually a McLaren that has spun around, and that was Alcatraz, I do believe, that just spun around there with BK. So BK and Alcatraz, I think, just got in a little bit of an incident there. Heading through the spoon curve, BK unfortunately has spun around, will come off worse compared to Alcatraz. But now Alcatraz has just got passed by Big Donga and Dr. Dre. Now Gasly 10 goes fastest for Ferrari, but I'm not too sure what's happened there with Alcatraz and BK. It looked like there was a little bit of a gap, so I potentially could have been BK. It spun around at the exit of the spoon curve, and I think NBC Alcatraz could have just got caught up in his spin there, but I'm not too sure if that's correct or not. Fortunately, we don't have any replays here, but now Alcatraz and Big Donga are still going at it. They're heading through the S-curves now, and Donga forces him out wide. Through the S-curves, it's not really a two-way line through there, it's mainly one way. He nearly gets his car onto the grass there, does Alcatraz. But Alcatraz also, while trying to get ahead of Donga, he's also got Chucky right behind him as well. He's got a nice run off that corner though. Does Alcatraz. He won't be able to make a move heading into the hairpin. He's a little bit too far behind, but he's going to try and set it up heading into the final corner most likely to make a move. He's got a nice run though heading through the hairpin. Will he be able to potentially slide his car up the inside heading through the spoon curve? He does defend the inside line though, does Donga. He tries and squeezes in there. As you can see, he's going to try and hang it around the outside again as Alcatraz, but it looks like he just keeps running a little bit too deep into the spoon curve while trying to do so. And it forces him out wide into the dirty stuff. But he's going to have a nice run here though with that slipstream. No DRS available to the drivers, as this DRS wasn't even invented in the 2010 era of cars. But Donga runs really wide though on the exit. He mounts that curb, and it looks like they're going to go side by side heading into the final chicane. And now Alcatraz is forced off the track. So now he's going to drop a spot here. Is Alcatraz potentially also to Chucky? If he pulled that up, he most likely would have got the move done on Donga. Chucky a little bit too far behind at this stage. Alex also just running a pretty lonely race at the moment down in P10. BK is trying to catch up to that Red Bull as the drivers now start lap 6 of the Grand Prix. Alcatraz pretty much pushing Donga at the moment. Heading to the S section they go. He ran wide though, did Donga, so he's going to try and keep it back down the inside. Alcatraz is going to get forced out wide there through the S-curves. Donga really holding up Alcatraz at the moment. He's not doing him much favours at the moment. Is Big Donga. Chucky now. This man has just got himself a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting the Degner curve there. But he's actually now spun around his NBC Alcatraz, so he got himself into a half spin there, heading through the, the hairpin.
Just looked like he floored the gas a little bit too quickly there. Did the Braun driver, and that unfortunately spun him around, and now he's lost time to Big Donga, and has also lost a spot to LAS Chucky. But I think there's also, he just got himself a 3-second time penalty, but I think Catboy, who was it actually? I think someone just spun around back here. Not too sure who it was, but anyway. Alpine now starts lap 7 of the Grand Prix. 20 laps remain for the Japanese Grand Prix. He still leads Plebs at the moment. Alpum's stretches gap out between him and Plebs. Gasly 10 is right on the rear of that McLaren now. Sideshow Prod still struggling to keep with Gasly and Plebs. Purple now. Sorry, I should say Sideshow has extended that gap still, though, to Purple behind him. Dr. Dre starting to catch up to his teammate, though, in P5. P6 will be Big Donga. So P7, I should say, will be Big Donga. He's got Chucky right behind him as well. Same with NBC Alcatraz. Chucky ran wide through the second part of the S-curves there. Really affected his run. Or his rhythm, I should say, through that S-curves. Now, unfortunately, Road Flash down in P15 has retired from the session. Going to ride on board with Eclo to see what has happened to that Red Bull driver. Not too sure what's actually happened to him here. Has he put it in the wall over that bump? It's actually on the straight here by the looks of it. His car's disappeared, I do believe. One-tenth of a second now between Alcatraz and Chucky is now. He's making a move on that Red Bull driver, and he gets down the inside, though. Does Alcatraz. He gets the move done. But now, as you can see, Chucky's got a very nice switchback maneuver there done on Alcatraz. Big Donga, though, is giving Alcatraz a nice toe down that straight. Unfortunately for Chucky there, he had to slot back behind Alcatraz. Now Alcatraz has got himself back up into P8 as Gasly 10 just went faster there. I do believe Plebs didn't go faster, but now he's trying to dive back down the inside. There was Chucky, and he got a lot of oversteer there now, so Alex is caught back up to the rear of that little train, so he's going to try and make a move on his teammate. Here is Alex. He's going to go down the inside even before they get to turn 1, so Alex is going to have the inside line heading to turn 1 and 2. Will he be ahead heading into the braking zone? He will, so he will have the corner right away. Alex now slots himself into P9. BK is now caught up to the rear of that little battle pack now, but there's another battle, well, the same battle again as it was before between Big Donga and NBC Alcatraz. He actually gets a massive tank slapper there, does Alcatraz, and unfortunately he's put it in the wall. As Alcatraz, I could see that coming as soon as he corrected the steering there. So unfortunately now Alcatraz has lost his front wing. Luckily didn't lose his tyre, so he will continue in this Grand Prix, but that's very unfortunate for NBC Alcatraz. He's going to be dropping massive amounts of positions here. He's unfortunately got a little bit of a gap at the moment between him and Eclo, but he doesn't have any front wing, so he's going to be really slow for the rest, or the remainder I should say, of this lap. But now Plebs and Sideshow, I think Plebs has actually had a little bit of an incident here, because Purple and Gasly have just got ahead of Plebs. And what's happened with Sideshow as well? He's dropped positions as well. He's got front wing damage by the looks of it. Has Sideshow, so I'm not too sure what's happened there between Sideshow and Plebs. I think those two may have made contact, but there was a massive gap between them, so I'm not too sure what's happened. So Sideshow now has got front wing damage, and so does Plebs. I do believe they're both coming into the pit lane, so I'm not too sure what's happened there. That's unfortunate though for Plebs and Sideshow. So now that moves LAS Purple up into the podium positions, leading Dr. Dre 3000 in P4. Leaving Dr. Dre in P4. P5 now will be Big Donga leading Alex, Chucky, Corte, Floggle. Plebs now, who is exiting the pit lane. He's going to get passed by Blocky Rex, who has moved up a few positions. He's up 9 positions at the moment is Blocky Rex. Currently the driver up the most so is Big Donga. He's up to 10 spots at this stage. Plebs is now going to come home or slot into P11. Sideshow will come out behind him in P12. BK is now into the pit lane as well for a very early stop in P13. P14 will be NBC Alcatraz, who did lose his front wing, so he had to come in for an early stop. Unfortunately for the Braun driver, P15 will be LASF1 Skid, P16 Eclo, and then they're going to go side by side. Heading into the final sequence of corners, they're going to try and get the move done. Skid did cut that corner though, but then for good measure, Eclo cut that next corner. He's going to have slipstream here. No DRS available to these drivers. Will he have enough speed down the straight, the slot down the inside. He's going to go for it. He's going to go down the inside now. Is Eclo heading through turn 1 and 2. And now that is Skid that got forced out wide there, heading through turn 1. So now Eclo gets himself up into P15. Cowboy Kai running a pretty lonely P17 at the moment. Unfortunately, we've only had 2 retirements from this race at the moment, them being the Very Lazy Tail and Road Flash. Alpin now catching up to Catboy Kai. He'll be the first of the drivers to be lapped in this Grand Prix. Gassy 10 now has 2.6 seconds between him and Alpin. P3 will be LAS Purple. 4th will be Dr. Dre. So Red Bull doing a pretty nice job at the moment. Currently got 4 drivers in the top 7. Now Blocky Rex, I do believe, just has now got ahead of Chucky as he is in the pit lane for a front wing change by the looks of it. So unfortunately for Sideshow now, he actually did stay out for another lap, so it must have been his teammate had come into the pits. I'm not too sure why he stayed out for an extra lap. Unless he got front wing damage again, because I thought he definitely did come in the pit lane. So he's had to come into the pits again now as Sideshow. This will be his second stop of the Grand Prix, so he must have lost his front wing again because they just changed it for a second time. So he's made 2 pit stops in the space of 2 laps as Sideshow, so this race has gone from bad to worse again. I think he's pretty much getting used to it at this stage, unfortunately, his Sideshow. He hasn't had much luck in this series. But now Eclo is now trying to make a move again on Skid. I should say Skid's trying to make a move on Eclo, and they get the move done now. In P15 and 16, the 2 Red Bull drivers are battling it out for. Unfortunately, their points are available for those positions, but bragging rights is always a battle for the Red Bull drivers. Alpine still leads away at the moment. Gasly trying to edge that gap or close that gap down between him and Alpine. LAS Purple still sitting in P3, leading Dr. Dre, Big Donga P5 in 6th. Will be Alex 96NZ Corte. Still running in P7, leading Floggerwoggers, Blocky Rex, Plevs in P10 at the moment. Who's going to have a nice run on Blocky Rex? Will he be close enough to make a move into turn 1? Blocky defends the inside line. Doesn't get the move done, but unfortunately both the drivers ran wide down the exit of turn 2. Both managed to keep it on track though. Blocky does cut that corner there, gets the car onto the grass and runs wide through the 3rd part of the S curves. So does Plebs there, so that's going to cost him. He's really struggling at the moment, is Plebs with dirty air, but Blocky got a very bad run out of the final section of the S curves, heading into the Degner curves they go now. Not close enough at the moment is Plebs, but he might try and make a move heading into the hairpin though. He's close enough at the moment. He's got his nice slipstream. Will he dive down the inside? He will. He's trying to make the move, but Blocky was deep under brakes. It's probably not a battle. Blocky is not a battle worth fighting. Is Blocky, but he nearly lags there into the back of Plebs' car. Very, very tight. There are millimeters between the McLaren and the Ferrari driver. They're going to go side by side, heading into the spoon curve now. He's trying to hold it around the outside now. Is Blocky. Runs it out wide. Say if he did manage to hold on to that position, I think he would have got in trouble for gaining a position or extending the track limits and gaining a position, but Plebs has now got himself up into P9. Will Blocky try and make a move? He's got a nice slipstream down the back straight though, heading through 130. Will he be deeper on the brace? It doesn't look like he's going to sit behind Plebs now. It's probably best, if I was Blocky, I'd probably just sit behind Plebs at the moment and try and save a little bit of fuel potentially, and also just stay in his toe, but unfortunately he got a very bad exit out of the final corners there. So that's already got Plebs nearly or just under a second gap between him and the Ferrari driver. But Skid and Eclo are still going at it as well. They head through the spoon curve. You're going to go side by side now, heading into 130 is Skid and Eclo. I don't like that camera view, but anyway. Now Eclo manages to sweep around the outside and hold on to his position at the moment for the battle of P15, but he nearly hits his teammate there. Does Skid, and now he's unfortunately spun around. He's had to let Alpin go as well. It looked like he just ran a little, he didn't even look like he ran too deep, and now Sideshow just went fastest in the Grand Prix, down in P14. Is the Braun driver, he just went fastest with a 1 minute 14. Point. Actually, it wasn't 1 minute 14. I don't know where I got that from. But 1 minute 31.930. So he's currently the fastest driver on track at this stage with that fresh set of dry tyres. But now Chucky's retired from the session. The Red Bull driver's unfortunately retired from the session. We're going to ride on board with Sideshow to see what's happened to that Red Bull. Looks like he just retired from the session manually there, so I'm not too sure what's happened to the Red Bull driver there. That's unfortunate for the Red Bull team. Unfortunately not going to be taking home those points. Anyway, he was actually out of the top 14, I do believe. He was fighting with Alcatraz and BK for the top 10 position, so he could have potentially taken home a couple of points in the end. But unfortunately he's retired from the session, making it 3 retirements now for the Japanese Grand Prix. Corte Cruz just came out of the pit lane now for his first stop of the Grand Prix on lap 13. Trying to find a battle for you guys. Alpine still leads away at the moment, 3.6 seconds between him and Gasly 10 in P2. Purple trying to catch up still to Gasly. Dr. Dre running a pretty lonely P4 at the moment. Big Donga in P5 still has Alex 96 NZ right behind him. Flogger Woggles in P7 leading Plebs. In P8, P9 will be Blocky Rex, and running out top 10 will be Corsair Cruz. Alcatraz, who's just made another mistake there at the same spot that he just made a mistake, nearly runs into the McLaren of BK there. That's the result of the reset the track method. But now he made another mistake, overcorrected again there. Did NBC Alcatraz. He only did that a couple of laps ago as well. Not too sure what's happening here. I think Big Donga is in the pit lane, but so is Dr. Dre. So Purple and Dre are now into the pit lane for the Grand Prix. So is Gasly 10 as well. He's already exited the pit lane, so he's going to be trying to potentially come in for a fresh... Well, he has come in for a fresh set of tyres, but his potential plan could be chucking on that fresh set and trying to gain some more time on Alpum in front of him. Alex has stayed out for another lap as well. Two-tenths of a second between Flogger Woggles and Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre tries to go around the outside through the Degner curves. It was definitely never going to work. He was much deeper under brakes there than Flogger Woggles. They did actually make contact though. Don't think either of the drivers did get front wing damage during that contact, but Flogger Woggles maintains P5 at the stage. Catboy Kai down in P16 at the moment has just got himself a 5-second time penalty for the Grand Prix. I do believe that was force speeding into the pit lane. NBC Alcatraz now down in P12 has just got himself a 3-second time penalty, but Alpine now, as you can see, staying out for another lap again, so he's doing a very long undercut at this stage. Gasly 10 still in P2 at the moment. There's actually not too much of a gap in there between Alpine and Gasly. This is Gasly heading through turn 1 now, and Alpine heading through the third part of the S curve, so there's really not much of a gap. I wouldn't be surprised at the moment if Gasly 10 actually comes out ahead of Alpine after the pit stops. So the longer Alpine stays out, the more Gasly's just going to catch up to him, but he will have the fresher tyres coming towards the end of the Grand Prix. There's 12 laps remain as well for the Japanese Grand Prix. One-tenth of a second between Alex and Big Donga as well for the battle of P7. Sideshow Bright, I think, spun around or had a little bit of an incident again because Alcatraz now just got ahead of him down in P12 and 13. So Alcatraz now moving himself ahead of his teammate. Unfortunately, no points will be awarded for P12, but he will have Blocky Rex. He's got to try and catch up to. Who was that driver trying to make a move? I think that was Alex trying to make a move on Big Donga for P7 there, heading through the hairpin, but I think Donga kept it around the outside. Yellow flag still in Sector 1, but now it's Catboy Kai now making it 4 retirements in the session. I do believe he was the only driver that had been lapped in this Grand Prix. So he's made it 4 retirements in this session so far 15 drivers remain, but now it looks like Alex has a nice run on Big Donga. Will he try and make a move? Heading into the final corner. Pulls out to the inside line, but unfortunately wasn't deep enough. Donga was very deep on the brakes there. But he will have the better run out of that penultimate corner there. Will Alex 96NZ, and he will have that slipstream available to him. Donga tries to break that slipstream, but he's right under that rear wing now of the McLaren. He's not catching up to him enough at the moment. Donga defends the inside line, heading through turn 1. So he manages to hold on to P7 at the moment, though. Now does Big Donga. He's also trying to catch up now. 2 Flogger Woggles at the same time as defend from Alex behind him is Big Donga in that McLaren car. Plev's now got 6/10 of a second, 6/10 of a second between him and Dr. Dre. He's reeled in that Red Bull driver has Plevs. After that little incident, I do believe with Sideshow Prod down at MP12 at the moment, he is. NBC Alcatraz, I think, is also spun around again. Oh, he's actually into the pit lane now for his second stop, I do believe. So he may have lost a bit more front wing damage. It doesn't look like it. So Alpine now goes faster. So now NBC Alcatraz has been lapped in this Grand Prix. Eco will be the next victim of Alpine to get lapped potentially. One-tenth of a second now between Dr. Dre and Plevs. They're going to go side by side, heading through turn 1. At the Suzuka circuit, it looks like Plevs will get the move done. Heading into turn 1, he goes. He moves himself up in the P4 now for the Japanese Grand Prix. Now that's Catboy Kai has now left the session. I thought he retired from the session, but as you can see on your screens now, the Race Spec media, social media, be sure to go give them a follow or a like. The Twitter is RaceSpec Esports, Instagram is race.spec, and our Facebook is RaceSpec F1 Esports to get notified on all the results for the regional series and these F2 and 2010 Classic Series results. So now Plevs has around 6 seconds he's got to try and make up to catch up to LAS Purple, who is heading through the second part of the spoon curve. Plevs is now heading into the first part. Dr. J is still keeping with him. I don't think Dr. J will put up too much of a fight with Plevs, as he knows Plevs is faster, but Alpine is still extending that lead between him and Gasly. He's got over 10 seconds now, just under 11 seconds I should say, between those two drivers. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I think that's Alcatraz and Eclo potentially. No, it's actually LSF1. Skid now is unfortunately retired from the session. So the Red Bull drivers now made it. 5 retirements in this Grand Prix. So now we only have 14 drivers remaining in this session. They are on lap 18 now. 9 laps remain in the Grand Prix. Big Donga now and Corte Kusa also going out because Big Donga's actually spun around in the exit of the final corner. I think he may have actually made a little bit of contact with Skid's retired car. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but now unfortunately for Donga, he's dropped all the way back down to P9. He's got his teammate now, BK, MP10. Sideshow Pro trying to catch up to BK to get himself a point for this Grand Prix. He will not want to make that 2 non-points finishes in a row. Will Sideshow Prod. 3/10 of a second still between Plez and Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre still just keeping in that slipstream at the moment of Plez. BK and Flogger Woggles I think Flogger Woggles actually just made a mistake there. Heading through the exit of the S-curve, so that's now got Sideshow, very nice run now. He's moved himself up into the points paying positions now as Sideshow, so he will take home 1 point, and I do believe he does still have the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. No, it's actually Alpine still, sorry. So Alpine will be taking home a full 26 points at this stage. Blocky Rex has now actually had a little bit of an incident or a mistake there, heading through the second part of the Daytona curves. So unfortunately for the Ferrari driver, he is going to... I think he may have got caught up there with Flogger Woggles, who actually has a puncture, does Flogger Woggles, so that's why he's going so slowly. So I think Blocky may have just got caught out there by that Braun car going very slowly, but Alcatraz is a little bit further behind at the moment. He's unfortunately with those pit stops. After making, I think he's made 3 pit stops in this Grand Prix, I do believe. He's only made 2 pit stops in this Grand Prix. Has NBC Alcatraz. 2 for front wing changes, I do believe. LASF1 Lico in P14 at the moment. Now our race leader has actually spun around. Alpin, we just swapped over to him and he's just spun around. Heading through the S-curve, so now that's going to bring Gasly 10 much closer to him. Alpin will most likely have front wing damage. We're going to ride onto the broadcast camera to see if he does. I'd be very surprised if he didn't get himself any front wing damage. Because he hit that wall on the exit of, or the inside exit of that final corner very hard. He's staying out again. It doesn't look like he's actually got any front wing damage. So that is very, very surprising he didn't get any damage here. But now that's got Gasly 10. A little bit of a, he's closed that gap now to under 5 seconds. But I am very, very surprised that Albon did not get any damage whatsoever, as there's now 7 laps remaining in this Grand Prix for the Race Spec F1 Esports 2010 Classic Series. Woggle Woggles now. Down in P14 has just got himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Yellow flag in Sector 1. Not too sure who that's for. But Plevs has got that gap down to 5.5 between him and Purple at the moment. He's not catching up at the rate that I think he really needs to be if he wants to get onto that podium positions. Those podium positions. Dr. Dre still keeping with Plevs actually. I think Plevs is towing Dr. Dre along at the moment. Try and find who the yellow flag is for. I'm not too sure it's for. It's actually Eclo there, I think, just because he's running wide and trying to get out of the way of the lapped cars in front of him. That's Blocky Rex now. Because unfortunately, who's now been lapped in this Grand Prix, just had to get out of the way there of Alpine, the race leader, to not impede him with the blue flags. If you guys are new around here as well, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications as well to get notified when the Race Spec F1 Esports channel goes live. Do apologise as well for the F2 Sprint Series not being streamed as well. Fortunately, we had a few issues with YouTube not letting me stream or start the stream for some reason, but LAS Purple still sitting in P3 at the moment. Plebs has now pulled 4/10 of a second out of Purple that lap, but he's most likely going to have to try and go a little bit faster if he wants to get onto that podium positions. He's pulled that gap now to Dr. Dre, so he doesn't have too much pressure from behind now. Alex still sitting in P6 at the moment, leading Corte, Big Donga, BK, Sideshow, NBC Alcatraz, Foggle Woggles, and now that's Eclo now that's unfortunately put it in the wall, trying to head into the pit lane. But Alcatraz and Flogger Woggles and Big Donga have just, so I should say Big Donga, I didn't realise that. Big Donga's just lapped Flogger Woggles now. And now Blocky Rex is unfortunately retired from the session now, down in P14, so that makes it 6 retirements from the Grand Prix. 13 drivers remain at this stage with an agency. Eclo's run really wide, he's lost his front wing, and unfortunately he's put it into the wall for the Grand Prix, for that Red Bull team. So now that makes it 12 drivers remaining in the session. You see the gap at the moment between Alcatraz and Sideshow, there's 43 seconds at the moment, so he's going to have to hope that someone in front of him does retire from the session. Will Alcatraz, if he wants to get into that podium, not podium, those points paying positions. He has been lapped, has Alcatraz. Alpine's actually getting caught now by Gasly. Gasly's got that gap down to 3.8 seconds. Last lap, I do believe it was around about 4.2. So he is gaining at the moment, is Gasly. Could we finally see a Ferrari win the Grand Prix? We've only seen, I do believe, a Red Bull and a Brawn win so far. And a McLaren, so it will be Ferrari's first win in the series. There's 2 rounds remaining after this event as well. That is the Brazilian and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Alpine still sitting or leading at this stage. Gassie's actually just pulled 0.2 of a second out of him in that sector alone. So he's massively gaining at the moment. Is Gassie does Alpine. His tyres going off a little bit now. They will be very hot compared to Gasley's as he did spin around. He could also have that little bit of front wing damage after spinning around at the exit of the spoon curve. We're going to quickly have a look here. It looks like on the right end plate he may have a little bit of damage at the top of it. It doesn't look like it's sticking up as much as the right side of that front wing, but anyway, we'll have to see if Gasly can catch up. He's actually lost a little bit of time there, has Gasly. He may have made a little mistake heading on the exit of the final corner. Heading through the exit, I should say. Plebs is still not catching at a fast enough rate of knots. Fast enough rate of speed, I should say. On Purple, if he wants to get onto that podium position, he's going to have to hope that Purple does make a mistake. But at this stage, it will be 3 different teams on the podium positions. 4 different teams, I should say, in the top 4 for the Japanese Grand Prix. Currently, the closest drivers on track at the moment are Plebs and Dr. Dre, but they're not really in a battle at this stage. So Gasly did also last lap. I think he made a mistake heading through this next section that he's heading through now. I think he may have made a little mistake, as he did lose a lot of time. He lost around 0.5 of a second between him and and Alpine in front. As the drivers now start lap 24 of 27. 3 laps remain in the Grand Prix. By the looks of it, if Alpine can just hold on at this stage, Gasly looks like he's falling off the back of... he's chewed up his tyres by the looks of it. He's chewed up his tyres a bit too much now, Gasly. There's yellow flag in Sector 2. Who's up for now? BK is unfortunately retired from the session. Heading down the back straight, so that's exactly what Alcatraz needed to get into the top 10 for the Grand Prix. So now Alcatraz is going to get himself into that top 10 podium position. So top 10 points paying positions, but that may not be the case now because Flogger Woggles is actually way too far behind. But Alcatraz just had a little bit of an incident there through the Degner curve, spun it around and put it in the wall, and he will have front wing damage. Doesn't have a left end plate there, does the Braun driver, so he's going to have to come into the pits again. There's 41 seconds between him and Flogger Woggles, but I'm not even sure. He may stay out for the Grand Prix, for the rest of the Grand Prix, but looked like he just floored the accelerator a bit too much there, did Alcatraz on the curb. And it's very easy to spin the tyres in these 2010 era of cars. Gasly 10's actually just pulled 0.8 of a second out of Alpine that lap, so he's definitely now finally got back in that rhythm. May have just overcooked his tyres a little bit in those last 2 laps, but now they start lap 25, 27, 3 laps remain in this Grand Prix. So now we only have 11 drivers remaining in the session. Unfortunately, 8 drivers have retired from the Japanese Grand Prix. Normally we don't have that many drivers retiring from the session, but with the curbs around the Suzuka circuit, it's very easy to spin the rear wheels in these in these 2010 classic era of cars. Gasly now got that gap just to a little bit over 3 seconds. He's got to really push now if he wants any chance at getting that win in the Grand Prix. Could be very tight at the end, but the Alpine is now about to start his penultimate lap. It's 3.094 seconds between the front 2 drivers at this stage. Plebs has also got that gap now down to 2 seconds between him and Purple. He can see him in front, but will it be enough? He's had a couple of laps there where he wasn't gaining at a fast enough rate of speed. Gussie now. It looks like he's not getting a very nice run out of that final corner because he is losing a lot of time through that final section of corners. As the drivers now start the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, Alpine leads the way at the moment, but he does have a very fast charge in Gussie 10. I don't think Gussie will be able to catch up to him though. But Gussie is definitely gaining on that Braun in front, but LAS Purple for Red Bull in P3 at the moment, leading Plebs in P4. Currently, all 4 teams have a driver occupied in the top 4 at the moment, so very competitive at the moment with the constructors standings, or the constructors inter-team battle. Sorry, teams battle. My wording right now is ridiculous. I don't know why. Now Dr. Dre is catching up to Alcatraz. I do believe Alcatraz still has that front wing damage after that little incident he just had heading through the exit of the Degnet curves. He's sitting in P5 at the moment. Is Dr. Dre. P6 will be his teammate though, Alex 96NZ. Corte Cruz in P7, leading Big Donga in P8. P9 will be Sideshow Prod and Ranier. Top 10 at the moment will be NBC Alcatraz. And then unfortunately the only driver that at this stage that will not take home any points in this Grand Prix will be Floggle Woggles, sitting in P11. But now Alpine starts his final lap of the Spec F1 Esports 2010 Classic Series Japanese Grand Prix. Round 10 of the championship. There'll be 2 rounds remaining at the Brazilian and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to get notified when we do go live. Gassie's still sitting around that 3-second mark, so he's definitely not going to be able to catch up to Alpine unless he does make a mistake. We have actually seen Alpine make a mistake for the first time. Actually, no. Well, he did make a mistake at last round at the Singapore Grand Prix. But we're actually going to go back to Sideshow Prod here, who is right on the rear of Big Donga. This will be the closest battle on track at this stage. This will be the battle for P8 in this Grand Prix. It will be McLaren versus Braun. They head through the first sector now, does Sideshow Prod and Big Donga. One-way line pretty much through this whole first sector. Doesn't get a very nice run out of the final section of the S-curves there, did Sideshow Prod with that dirty air effect, but Alpine should be heading through the final sector now, and he's going to come across the line now. There's Alpine, and he's going to win the Japanese Grand Prix for the Spec F1 Esports 2010 Classic Car Series. Gussie 10's going to come home P2 for Ferrari. Then it will be LAS F1 Purple in P3, taking it home for Red Bull. He's going to come across the line now. Congratulations to the Red Bull team, and it will be Plebs who will come home P4 for McLaren, leading Dr. Dre 3000 for Red Bull in P5. P6 will be Alex 96NZ, but I'm going to go back now to Sideshow Prod and Big Donga because they are heading onto the back straight. Big Donga has a pretty nice lead at the moment compared to Sideshow Prod, but he's got a very nice toe down this back straight though. Has Sideshow Prod really be able to dive down the inside? He's really close at the moment, but he ran a little bit wide through 138. He's just really got to send it through this final corner. He didn't really go too deep, but Big Donga's got a very bad run. He's going to try and go around the outside though. This Sideshow Prod, Donga didn't give him much room, but he didn't really have to be honest. So now Big Donga's going to come home in P8 for the Grand Prix. Sideshow's going to have to settle for P9. Running out of the top 10 will be NBC Alcatraz. And running out of top 11 will be Floggle Woggles when he comes across the line. Alex came home P6 and Corte 7th as well in the Japanese Grand Prix. But that has been your Spec F1 Esports 2010 Classic Series at the Japanese Grand Prix. Congratulations to our top 3 podium getters. 3 different teams I should say on the podium. Just it goes to show how competitive this league is at this stage. Congratulations to the top 3 podium getters and Alpine for taking home the win at the Suzuka circuit. But now, as you can see, the provisional results for the Spec F1 Esports 2010 Classic Series. Alpine took home the win for Braun. Solid result there from the Braun F1 team. 0.7 of a second in the end between him
and Gasly after time penalties. LES F1 Purple came home P3 for Red Bull. Then it will be the McLaren of Plebs, who unfortunately did a pretty good recovery drive, I should say, in the end to bring that McLaren back home in P4. But I definitely think Red Bull was the team of the day, to be honest. They had the majority of drivers that had finished in the end, so they're going to be taking home a pretty healthy amount of points. Dr. Dre will come home P5 for Red Bull. P6 will be Alex. Then it will be Corte. P7, P8 will be Big Donga, who very marginally came home ahead of Sideshow Prod in P9, and running in the top 10 will be NBC Alcatraz. And the final driver that has finished the Grand Prix will be Flogger Woggles. And unfortunately, the retirements from the race will be BK, LSF1, Eclo, Blocky, Skid, Catboy, Chucky, Rogue, and the very lazy Tal. But that has been your Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 2010 Classic Series. If you guys are new around here, as I said before, be sure to hit that subscribe button to get notified when the races do go live. But anyway, for now, my name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time. I want to apologise again for the stream lag as well, if that did happen, and unfortunately not streaming the F2 Sprint Series in at the Italian Grand Prix. But as I said, my name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time.